Welcome to Messy Bun Sisters Podcast.
I'm Lauren.
And I'm Lauren.
And this is episode 6.
Da-na-na. Guys, we have a special guest on the pod today. What's your name?
My name is Lauren Gray.
As you heard from the intro, Alyssa is in Switzerland somewhere. It's actually, I have the world clock on.
It's probably like 1 a.m.
2:24 a.m.
Well, I was, an hour and 24 minutes off. Yeah. She's not going to be on the podcast, suffice to say. She's not awake.
Yeah, no, she's asleep. She actually FaceTimed me today. It was like 4 o'clock and it was 11 at night over there, and Liam was still awake.
Wow. That's what vacation does to kids, though.
Well, I mean, it's a 7-hour difference.
Oh, you're right. He hasn't adjusted yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's brave taking a kid over there. And Switzerland's the most expensive country to travel to in Europe.
Why?
Is Switzerland a country? Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because I Googled it. I wanted to go, and it was super expensive. So instead, I went to Amsterdam.
Oh.
I don't recommend it. Actually,
Why?
Amsterdam's not as good as other places you could go. And if you're there for too long, your soul is in peril. So you gotta be.
What are you
kidding? I'm totally kidding. It's just
I don't understand.
The red light district. There's just really nothing to do.
In Amsterdam, I think there's one thing that everyone does. Probably. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, that's what I couldn't do because I was about to start my job.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say the one thing I loved about Amsterdam was the museums.
Okay, that's a very Lauren Gray thing to say.
They had a Banksy museum. Banksy. Do you know who Banksy is?
I don't. Okay,
oh
before we get
Lauren
into the details of this podcast, Lauren is probably the smartest human being I've ever met in my entire life. We've been best friends since 8th grade, which has been how many years?
20?
Like 12?
We were 13, so 19 years. We're really old. It's been
almost 20 years.
We're getting colossally old. We're turning into old women.
I'm seriously freaked out right now.
Her face is very freaked out.
I
For
think
the viewers,
there's tears in my eyes.
She's trying to hype up the drama, guys, but
no, I'm serious. That's freaking weird.
Last podcast was a 1-minute laugh session. Now she just wants to cry into these microphones. She wants a tear session.
No, that really is weird.
It's
20
touching.
years.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that you can stay close to someone for that long.
Yeah,
it's like family. I'd say I call you family.
Yeah, I'd say that.
You can't get rid of me.
Yeah,
you've tried.
Have I?
Yeah, you tried to push me away. There was a season.
When?
I think after you married Trent, you were like, you made some comment. It was very push away.
No, I didn't.
And then you apologized a few years later. So just
did?
So you know. Mm-hmm.
Listen, I have no memory of this.
She blacked it out, guys.
I have
dark times.
I have no memory of 1, pushing you away, and 2, apologizing.
Yeah, now she's going to start crying. See, I had to break the cry up with the serious talk. It was something like, we've gone different paths.
I think you're confusing me with somebody else. I would never say that to you.
Maybe I'm just a born pessimist and you were just like saying something one day and I read it wrong.
Here
we are reconciling. I am going to cry for a minute. Feels so good.
I literally have... Did you just open a bottle of something?
Yes.
That was very loud, Trent.
I was trying to do it underneath the desk, so
super loud.
Pick up, but
This is actually an ad for our new seltzer water we're making. It has a touch of
Brought
alcohol.
To you by Oh, no.
Oh, I hope it's lost. Can we restart?
Way.
Is it gone?
Dude.
Yeah, it's gone. Is it gone?
We can restart.
The camera's still recording, right?
What's up?
I mean, it is still working.
The microphone isn't working anymore.
Yeah, it's not recording.
It's still going?
Oh my gosh. It's like cosmic. This is meant to be.
This is so... for everyone who is like watching on... Or I guess
everyone, all of the thousands of you
that are listening and watching,
fans,
the what's it called? The breaker?
What? Oh, we're back on. We're live.
We were always on, I guess.
We were always on.
Yeah, everything just went off.
You know, I think podcasts really, they speak to our narcissism, just like selfies. You know, we want to hear ourselves. We want to be appreciated. We want our thoughts to be heard.
But don't you think it's about like leaving a legacy? behind
I mean,
when you're gone.
I can see that. And I'm that way with pictures. So maybe, and that's why I said before the camera started rolling that if I die, y'all will probably play some of the clips from this. So legacy is probably one of the better reasons for doing podcasts. So
I actually heard
I want to
something
tell all
on
of you I love you.
Aw.
If I've gone out, just hi. Okay, I'm waving at the camera for you who can't see.
So here's, I heard something on a podcast, actually, a comedy podcast, a fall podcast. You die 2 times.
Oh, I know this one.
Okay, what is it?
So the first time is when you die physically.
Yeah.
The second time is the last time someone speaks
Yeah.
your name.
Yes.
I love that. It's beautiful.
And you know what's crazy? Like, I think about that often because a lot of my ancestors obviously are dead.
Well, I mean, at some point you know, what we do in life echoes in eternity or whatever.
Whoa.
Come on, that's Gladiator.
Again.
Everybody, come on. We could We could quote Gladiator all day long.
You can quote it too if you would like to. We're getting into this.
But I
silly
mean,
goose time.
essentially, at the end, this is more dark and pessimistic than Silly Goose. But at some point, it putters out your echo.
But I will try to say my ancestors' names as often as I can so they never die.
Well, how far back can you actually go with your ancestors?
Okay. So one of them,
Without the help of Ancestry.com or some stuff like that. Like, I would argue that you can only be close to 4 generations back.
Okay, here's the thing is I think Ancestry.com is a tool to help us have our ancestors never die. So one of the ones is on my grandma's side. His name is Silvestre.
Okay,
And the
thank
other
you
one-
for giving the Spanish
And
version.
the other one is Clara or Clara. And
She's
I
helping
really
you out,
like
white
the name
people.
Clara.
Clara is a beautiful name.
Right, and Trent hates it.
Well, I like Edith
Ooh, but that reminds me
Travis
of
hates
Downton.
it.
Why?
because it's the lunch lady's name.
Maybe in the 80s when he was in high school.
So we're going to go with Josephine.
If you have a girl. What if you don't
It's
have a girl?
Or if we have 2 girls, it would be Josephine and Eleanor. Boys' names, I mean, I almost cussed. I'm so frustrated. I like Hank and Johnny, but those are so traditional.
I like Hank.
And you can't name them that together because people are going to expect them to like take out a banjo and play every time you introduce your kids.
What was it? Johnny. Oh, you only think of that is because of Johnny Gross
No, Johnny Cash.
and Johnny Cash.
Johnny Gross didn't come to mind.
But he plays
Williams,
banjo.
Johnny Cash. Oh, okay. I see where you're going with the reference. And in fact, neither of those 2 musical artists played the banjo. I just meant people would expect
Johnny
them
Gross
to.
does.
Well, I meant Johnny
Then he-
Cash.
Yeah. And Hank Williams.
Yeah. Let's not mention Johnny Gross because one of the things about a podcast is nobody knows who that is.
They'll just have to Google it.
I don't think he's Googleable. This is a church member, guys.
Trent, can you Google it and see if Johnny Gross comes up?
See if this is a relevant topic. Oz, the great and powerful over there.
Okay. So since we've already gotten in the midst of this podcast, we need to do our review of the week.
We practiced that song. Oh,
Okay,
shit.
one more time. Redo it.
Okay.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Review of the week.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thanks, Lauren. Okay, so our review of the week comes from Mara Drew. And as we said at the beginning of this podcast, Alyssa, David, and Liam are in Switzerland. And Mara said, have the best time ever. I love traveling with my kids. It's honestly such a fun part of parenthood. Which, I don't know if I would take my kids traveling.
I don't plan on doing it.
But Mara has 3 kids.
Definitely not international.
And she likes to travel with her children.
I could do domestic.
Maybe.
National parks, places you can drive to, which is hard in Texas.
Yeah.
But-
Big Bend.
Yeah, Big Bend is beautiful.
Enchanted Rock.
Ugh.
See, you can travel with your kids there. Day trip. Kind of. Maybe not Big Bend. It's 6 hours.
Big Bend is like so far away. But
We're
it's
probably
so
going to go one
beautiful.
day.
St. Helena Canyon is like 300-foot cliff walls, and you can take a canoe down it, and then the sheer cliff walls are on both sides. And then at some point you can disembark and then hike in to this white fern canyon. Google it.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. It's on the Mexican side. And there's like this black lagoon at the end of it. It's one of the more beautiful things I've ever done. And I'm obsessed
You've
with
done
taking
that?
pictures, but I didn't take my camera because we were canoeing And I was a fool because it would have been some of the most Instagrammable shit to ever happen to my feed.
You know Lauren Ray?
Yeah.
Her husband, Dustin, did that Epic Bend, the canoeing thing with the sides by himself.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I'm definitely a fan of safety.
Yeah, me too.
Very safe. Like
But
I've
he's
never
also
broken a
white
bone.
male.
Have you ever broken a bone? What does that mean? Like all white males aren't friends of safety?
No, I feel like a white male doesn't have a lot to be afraid of.
Not in this country.
See? Speaking of this country, Lauren has the best news story this week. Ding 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 ding.
I don't even know.
Okay.
I was gonna read this.
Yeah.
I looked up interesting news stories of the week, and this is from Reuters. And a Florida man was charged for stashing Trump-shaped ecstasy pills.
That's so stupid. Okay, first of all,
They were
only in
orange.
Florida.
Only in
They
Florida.
were orange?
They were orange.
No.
Of course. And it said "Great Again" printed on the back. Now, apparently the source of these was Germany, and they were made in 2017. But 30 or so of these pills made their way to Florida and were seized from this man. And, I mean, if you're going to do drugs, why not put them in the shape of Trump's head?
Is there a picture of them?
You know, that's a good question. There's not one with the article, but I'm now curious. That's actually a really good question.
Anyway, sorry. I got a couple text messages and got distracted.
I'm taking your phone away.
No, I have the questions for you on
okay.
this.
Lauren
so we
has
can-
prepared some questions.
Yes. So, again, we talked about how Lauren has been my best friend since the 8th grade.
19 years.
19 years.
Lauren started crying. Recap.
And then the power went out.
Yeah. It's a sign.
Man.
The emotion was sizzling.
That's never happened in our 40
actually,
episodes.
If the feed did black out, that was the best moments of the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, it was so like
It was
electric.
so random. Okay. So let's talk about how we met. Do you remember how we met?
Yes, I was the new kid.
Uh-huh.
And your mom, who's an awesome person and wonderful human being, told you to be nice to me.
Yeah.
And then we went to church together.
But where did we met at church, right?
Yeah, it was like youth group. Like Ryan
Yeah.
Koenig was singing. And then we kind of
Aw.
like got into the church group together.
You want to hear something crazy? Ryan Koenig also used to like be Trent's person. Like
At Lifeway?
What was it called? Trent, do you remember? What's the name?
Tree of Life.
Tree of
Tree
Life.
of
He was the
Life.
youth pastor.
So he left us to go to Tree of Life. It was a very sad day in my life. Did you like Ryan?
Oh,
Trent's
in my mouth. I thought it was hilarious.
Man, I
He was
loved
a
Ryan
hilarious youth
Koenig.
pastor. He like super high energy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I'm glad you have the same vibe. I thought, you know, these are the kind of people we need in our churches with our youth.
yeah.
And he left us, but he left his mark on us in
He
a
probably
positive
left
way.
us for more money.
Heck yeah, he told me that when he left. Yeah, he had done that demo of those like really, really awesome worship songs, which
Oh yeah.
was really good. And oh my gosh, what happened to that? Because it would still, I think it would hold up even now.
He was only like 22.
And like Warren did this little, you know, like black style preacher thing in one of the songs. And
That's
it was really
right.
good.
Oh
I
my
used to have it
God.
like partially memorized. It was so touching.
Oh, it's like the Youth Fire CD.
Yeah.
And it had that one guy on the front.
And Ryan wrote all those songs. So
Yeah.
when the Tree of Life guy heard that CD, that's what got Ryan the big money offer.
No.
Yeah, and he deserved it. He totally deserved a ton of money because he was very talented. And I think
Yeah.
when people get paid for good work, that's when I just get really excited about the way the world works.
Yeah.
You know?
We must have been like, what, 15 when he left, I guess? He wasn't that much older than us, which in retrospect is like really, really weird because to me, he was like
We were probably
old.
14.
And he was like 21 or 22.
I remember being devastated. You know, Ryan's brother accidentally punched me in the face once. And I'm like this young youth kid. I'm like 14 years old, like super looking up to all these, you know, leaders who are really cool dudes. And I'm in the back office, like chilling with my homies. And then Philip pretends to fake punch me. You know that punch where you get really close and pull back? He punched me in the face like full force. And I've never seen someone look so horrified.
No.
He was mortified.
Why did he punch you?
Because he meant to do like a fake punch. Like, I don't want to do it to you right now because I just saw Trent bop himself in the face. I don't trust my old ass reflexes. But yeah, like, and then he kind of like misjudged the distance. I didn't move.
It is kind of hard to misjudge.
And because of that, it wasn't like a full delivery punch where you would like follow through because he pulled back.
Yeah.
Like right when he made contact, he pulled back. But it definitely made contact.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was an interesting memory, actually. He's an idiot.
You know what? I wonder what they're up to now.
You know, I do love Ryan Koenig. I think he's just, you know, it's rare for me because my standards are like through the roof, and I'm probably not even like, I probably would be judgmental of myself. Like, do I meet my own standards? I don't know. But when someone makes their stamp on you as this like awesomeness, it's a wonderful thing.
And it's a real impressionable time when you're freaking 14 years old.
I mean, it happened more when I was younger for sure, but
Yeah.
even as an adult, when someone, you know, leaves a stamp of excellence or whatever it is, it's a wonderful feeling.
You know who also made a stamp on me when we were growing up is that one guy from youth camp. His name was Phil. He's from Australia.
It sounded like American Pie or something. That one guy from youth camp, my first makeout sesh. I know. We were having a serious talk. Go back.
Remember, he was one of the pastors. That sounds even worse. He was from Australia. He's still there. He's still like the youth pastor. He was like, God, I'm a worm or something.
Oh,
like that.
yes.
Remember?
Oh, okay. I remember this one. So we're at church camp and this guy's like, God, I know how y'all approach God. You're like, you get there and you get ready to pray and you're like, God, I am a worm. You are so big. And I'm a worm, squash me. Amen.
Yeah, that he did. Like he was.
I remember that. He said a few other jokes that were just.
He's still a youth pastor at Hillsong.
Of course, he's Hillsong material.
It's funny.
They take all that charisma and they bottle it.
I'm glad we talked about politics and religion already in the first 10 minutes.
You know, don't we always talk about that when we hang out?
Guess that's true,
but it's not recorded for the posterity.
Yeah, thank God.
Well, I mean, we're just taking these Trump-shaped ecstasy pills.
Yeah.
This podcast is about to get lit. I'm about to be massaging Lauren's shoulders.
Oh my God! And Lauren wouldn't let me go get the White Claw.
Yeah, no White Claw. Sorry, guys. No memes here.
Okay. So my next question is, because we did meet kind of in high school. And Lauren said that she did not have a good memory, but I was like, what is your best memory of high school?
I don't have. Okay. All right. So I thought for hours on that, you know, like on and off, you think about something throughout the day, and I was busy and I was like, okay, I've got to come up with a good memory of high school. And I don't have like this shining bright memory of high school. I might have one for college, but I decided instead to tell a story about high school.
Okay.
Right.
I'm excited.
So in high school, Lauren knows because her mom used to pick me up from school a lot. But my mom was she got a D for being a mom. So she would never pick me up. She was always late if she would pick me up. So Lauren's mom would take me to school a lot, so she can vouch. But mom had this friend named Lucky. The reason they called him...
Oh, it was a man.
The reason they called Lucky is he wore a patch over his eye. And I'm sure it had something to do with whatever was under that patch that I never saw. And he drove.
I've never heard the story or of Lucky.
Okay, also Lauren can vouch. This segues into our next question, which is
Did you memorize the question?
I have a good memory. It's photographic. I have a photographic memory. So segues into our next question. I worked at HEB with Lauren. And so, of course, because my mom was a class D mom, I wasn't getting picked up all the time. So mom sends Lucky to pick me up with his eye patch and his like muscle car from the 70s that was black and would have been cool if it were actually upkept. Might be a Quentin Tarantino piece. But instead it was like disgusting. And it made this noise that you could hear for blocks.
What's the noise?
It sounded like it was dying.
God, sorry, Trent, in post-production.
Trent's gonna have to turn the volume down on that one. I just like put the whole mic in my mouth and digested it. Sorry. So,
okay. Rah.
So, like I said, it could have been a beautiful car 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Needed probably
40 now.
It needed like 6 weeks of heavy maintenance. And it was dented all over, disgusting, made the loudest noise. And it didn't have a passenger door. It had...
What?
It had wooden garden grate. you know that like cheap lattice that used to grow things when we were young? You don't even see it now.
Yeah.
But you could buy a lot of it and like maybe you'd have some vines. It was that over the door. And I don't remember what was on. And it was jerry rigged or whatever the word is where you could open it and had springs. But it only...
How come I don't remember this, man?
I am actually really impressed. I feel like I've told you this story.
No, I've never heard this story.
100% true, guys. It's 100% true.
I also never remember.
I'm also 16 years old, which is a very impressionable age. You know, you want to be picked up in a sleek car, preferably by a really hot 18-year-old at 16. Lucky rolls up to pick me from work at like the end of my shift at like 8 p.m. Everyone's there, and it's HEB. Like everyone, your coworkers are right there, bagging, sacking groceries. There's like a glass, and Lucky.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's here to pick me up, and I have to pull back the wooden garden grate and get into Lucky's car. And when people like little sorority girls try to tell me about how life was hard, I'm just like, bitch. You don't remember that one time Lucky didn't pick you up. You have no idea what hardship is. You don't know what diversity is.
Oh my god. Lauren, we have to see if he's on Facebook.
We are not going to find Lucky, guys. I'm guaranteeing you he's in a graveyard somewhere.
You think so?
He was old as balls, and he's definitely off the grid. He was not an on the grid type of guy.
I do not remember this
Lauren,
man.
this is
I wonder
Lauren.
if my parents remember him.
No, it was my mom's friend.
Yeah, my mom is friends with your mom.
Your mom, quotes, Lauren put up a quote. Lauren's mom tolerated my mom because Lauren's mom is a saint and wanted to take care of me as much as she could, which means she waved goodbye to my mom as she dropped me off at the house.
My dad also was friends with your mom.
Lauren, let's call them right now and they will be like, we avoided her.
Oh, no.
Any sane adult would avoid my mom.
Anyway, so
subject change, class D mom.
Well, I mean, I think that experience made you into a very fun and smart,
diverse
and funny human being.
Unspoiled.
And you're not spoiled. You're like a great human being.
Thanks, Lauren.
You are.
I feel really good.
And I feel like after
I'm feeling good.
all that craziness, the ecstasy is kicking in.
Don't tell them.
Okay, so let's talk about HEB.
I'm patting Lauren right now.
They can still see it. The video is still going.
Hi, guys.
She is. Okay, so let's talk about HEB. I, full circle, technically still work at HEB.
Yeah, it's a great company. I mean, really, truly.
I'm not going to lie. So Lauren and I both started like around the same time.
Yeah.
At
we were
the same
stackers.
HEB. Yeah. I was never graduated to a checker.
I did graduate to checker.
She did. And like, okay, my question for you is how did you do that? And why do you think that I didn't make the checker?
I think you quit. Like I stayed on.
No. Well, okay. So
I feel like you were gone and I was still working there.
Yeah, but I only worked there for a year. You worked there for like a year and a half.
Okay, well, there's your explanation.
No, because you got hired as a checker like within 6 months.
Really?
And there were 6 months, I remember, or around 6 months, where you were a checker and I was a bagger. And I was like, how come I'm not getting graduated to checker?
Well, I was putting some heat on him. I was like, I want that promotion. Because I think there was a cash, there's a couple, back then, 70 cents an hour, ooh, I'm going to get my raise.
It went from like $5 to $7 probably.
I think we got hired on at like $7 or $8 an hour.
No, I think it was like 5.
I think 7. We could Google the minimum wage, but it was minimum wage. Once again, Lauren and I made minimum wage.
Yeah.
We are some hardworking Americans. I'm just going to say we're awesome.
Minimum wage. Keep going.
Thank God for the internet.
In Texas.
So, actually, they weren't going to promote me to checker because I was too chatty as a bagger. I would chat the checkers up. And they said, it's fine if you chat the customer up. Just don't talk to your coworker at the register. So I turned all that energy and gusto because I used to be more talkative in my youth. Mm-hmm. And I just turned it all on the customer. With the right people in the right environment.
So I just looked up the minimum wage in Texas in 2002, which is like right when we became... When did we get? 2003?
Tax-paying citizens.
2003, I think. Because this says $3.
No, what? No, that's for a waitress.
No, this says the minimum wage in Texas in 2002 was $3.35.
No, we were making more than that. It was like $7 an hour. It might have been 5. Anyways,
feel like
guys,
it was 5.
It was cheap. I mean, we were working, like I was making $280 every 2 weeks, and I thought I was like raking it in.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I mean,
nothing.
we were in high school.
I mean, now I make tons of money. It just flies out of my hands.
I think it just still does. Like
Where's the
whether we're
money
making
going?
$5
Oh my
an hour or
God.
$30 an hour, it's still
Yeah,
flying
it's
out
never
of our
enough.
hands.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
never enough.
Yeah. So why do you think that I didn't get promoted to a checker?
Well, Lauren, I don't know.
I was hardworking. I bagged all the groceries. I didn't talk to anybody. I also
Did you tell them you wanted to be checker?
I don't remember.
I
This
was
like
riding
1,000
them.
years ago.
I was riding them hard.
Yeah.
I remember winning that promotion.
I remember one time I don't know if you know this, but I was bringing, okay, so at HEB, you always have to ask, do you need help outside as a bagger? The checker asks, the bagger asks if you need help outside. So I would say even back then, people would want more help. Like I don't know how it is now at HEB, obviously, but
People did want more help. You're right.
yeah, I feel like a lot of people are like, yeah, help me outside.
The nicest butt I've ever had, tone wise,
Yeah, is pushing
was
those
pushing
carts.
those carts,
Yeah.
like the massive things of carts.
Yeah.
I'll say I looked pretty good.
Anyway, so I went outside. I was letting this like maybe middle-aged couple out, like maybe even like our age now. They were probably in their early 30s.
They
And
invited you home?
They were like, hey, so like, blah, 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 like just chatting it up. And they were like, we're swingers.
I called it.
Yeah. And I was like, and okay,
Lauren,
I'm like,
you were attractive.
I'm like 17, maybe 16.
You should have told them your age and then like.
No, I was like, I had no idea what that was.
Oh, hey, I've got another idea what that was story after this one. Okay, but you go.
So I was super innocent and I was like, okay, like, I don't know what that means. And she gave me a card.
Whoa, some serious swinging.
They were serious swingers. And I was like,
I wish I could see that card right now in my hand. Like, was
I know,
it
me
cheap?
too. It was white.
It cheaply
it was
made?
a white card.
Oh my gosh, it was just white?
I just
it
don't
needed to be
remember.
like metallic.
And I think I like showed someone, maybe it was you. I don't know. But
No,
I remember
I don't remember this story.
I gave it to somebody who I knew who was like my friend. And I was like, what is this? And they were like, a swinger. And they explained it to me. And I was like, whoa, what the heck? It was very strange.
Well, it speaks to your assets,
Yeah.
even at that young age.
I know. I mean, I was a young, early bloomer.
Precocious.
I bloomed a lot. But I
bloomed a lot.
Maybe it was that.
Not just once, but many times.
Maybe I was very bloomed and very innocent, so they liked it.
Yeah. Yeah. This we've gone off the rails. Did we tell you that Lauren's dad listens to this podcast? Hi, Renee. I hope you love the content.
He does. he doesn't care. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, so my story is about when I went to Bonnaroo
Oh,
with Carol Ann
I like
Morgan,
this
who
story.
Carol Ann, you may not listen to the podcast, but this one's for you. So we went to Bonnaroo. I bought a Mondo Amazon package of like 500 neon bangles. You know, the ones you crack, you give them to kids. You don't give crack to kids.
No.
You crack the neon bracelets and then they glow.
There you go.
But these were all like bracelet size. So we made like one night at, I think it was Red Hot Chili Peppers. We did like chain mail. I was like Xena, warrior princess of the neon land. And we were attaching these things to anything we could get. And we were like giving them out. It wasn't expensive either, thanks to Amazon. Plug.
Yeah, sponsored by Amazon.
Sponsored by Amazon.
No, we're not. Just kidding.
Jeff Bezos.
Bezos.
Whatever. So at this point, everyone thinks we're high on drugs. Just like today on ecstasy. And
Just like here we are.
yeah.
With our Trump
And so Carolyn and I jamming out with our neon bracelets. We're super cute. We're going for it.
No drugs.
No-
at all.
no drugs.
Super clean.
Super clean. And Carolyn, she may not have been picked up by a guy named Lucky when she was younger.
Oh my God.
She's not super sheltered, but someone comes around.
I feel like Carol Ann,
Actually, she's seen some life.
she might have been picked up by a guy named Lucky.
I take it back. You're absolutely right.
I know.
I take it back. Caroline has seen some shit.
Yeah,
okay.
she has.
So I take back my statement. I don't put you in with those gals, Carol. And so at this point, people start coming up to Caroline and they're like, "Have you seen Molly?" She's like, "Oh no, I don't know a girl named Molly." And then the second wave of people. Then by the time the fourth or fifth wave comes up, I must have been like laying down at this point. And Carol Ann's still grooving in the moment with her. And she's like, "I don't know anyone named Molly." And then I was like, "Carol Ann, they're asking for ecstasy."
Was she like, and Caroline's also super sweet and young and innocent.
Yeah, I mean, it's for how unsheltered she is. She's at that time she was young and
she was like 19.
We're not
or 18.
young anymore. You know, we don't hang out with young people anymore. We're getting old. But all that to say, she didn't know who Molly was, and everyone thought she was high on Molly.
Just high on life.
High on life, you know.
I'm gonna take a sip of my water.
Yeah, I feel a little parched too.
You want me to get it for you?
Yeah, yeah. She's gonna help me hydrate. You know that ecstasy makes you real thirsty. Let's get a little
signature sip.
Ah, yes, the sparkling
this is
water.
The ASMR portion of this podcast.
Welcome to my ASMR podcast.
What does ASMR mean? American Sign Language. What? That's ASL.
What does ASMR mean, Trent? I forget. But it's like, okay, so it's this thing that Trent listens to. Basically, you can keep it up here if you want. Just don't spell.
No, it feels better like this.
Okay.
Stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response.
Ooh.
So I feel like you would like it.
Oh.
So, okay.
Ooh, is that like whale noises? I'm wanting to get real sensual with the mic now because I'm ASMRing.
No. Okay, so it's like basically, okay, there's like a movement on YouTube of ASMR videos. So it's like you're in stereo, right? So you as a consumer put your headphones on, and the content creator, the YouTuber, has like two microphones, so they do it in stereo. So they like talk to you on one side, they're like, welcome to my, and it sounds like they're on the left side. And then on this side, it goes ASMR channel, and it sounds like they're on the right side.
Oh, so it's like that test we used to do when we were kids.
Kind of. Trent can explain it better.
I mean, ASMR is categorized as an experience characterized by a static-like or tingling sensation on the skin that typically begins the scalp and moves down the back and neck, upper spine. So it's like that tingly feeling that you get.
You can get from noises.
Yeah, a lot of people
like
use
when someone
different
whispers in
noises.
your ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that, or a lot of it's like crinkling noises, or like tapping on certain textures that, I don't know, it's different for everybody.
There's a girl who's like
interesting.
maybe 15. No, she's probably like 12, has an ASMR channel, and she always does this.
Does she have autism? It sounds like something people with autism would like. That's not giving me the chills.
I know, but I'll show you some
I
channels.
think whispering would.
I hate the ASMR speaking channels.
Well, they're creepy, I'm sure.
They're talking like this.
But it's working for me right now. Like I'm getting the chills. Yeah, like I feel it.
I don't.
Yeah,
like,
I mean the talking ones I'm down
when
with.
when they start to whisper, I'm like,
It's kind of scary though.
normal. That's
it kind
how I
of
feel.
reminds me of the I See Dead People kid. You know, like he always used to hear whispers.
Yeah.
But still, it works for me for some reason. So
I mean, there is a level of like weirdness to it that gives you the tingly feeling. Like, if
yeah, maybe
somebody
that's
just
what's doing
sneaks up
it.
behind you and starts whispering in your ear, like it's obviously, it makes you like
Yeah.
clench your shoulders.
I don't like it. I'm
It's
like,
even right
shut up.
now I'm getting that feeling. So it's the weirdness of it. So maybe if I continue to do it, it would lose its effect.
I hate
yeah, it. You can lose your like the tingles.
So you then have
It's
to
definitely-
you then have to resort to tapping your fingers on cans and stuff.
Yeah.
That's weird.
We'll show you.
Or you just try
We'll show you.
listening to different
cool.
stuff.
You're
Trent-
about to indoctrinate me.
Trent like listens to ASMR as he goes to sleep.
Yeah, it's very relaxing.
Trent is so good at like all of the things.
I know.
I have nothing. I
Imagine being married to him.
no. He's like a
I
brother.
will not.
He's a brother to me.
Okay.
Creepy.
So let's get back on track to the questions. Do you remember what question number 4 was?
Question 4 is it's after the HEB one, and it's about is it about school?
Kind of.
Is it about UTSA?
No.
Versus, I don't remember.
So obviously we talked about you had a job at HEB, grade D mom.
Grade D.
I want to know what made you so motivated in high school, because you were also the most motivated
I did
person.
think about the answer to this one a little
You
more than
were
most.
the most motivated person I think I knew, because not only did you have a job, and I knew you were going through all that crap, and you were also in sports. You were like the smartest person.
I wasn't good at sports though, guys. I didn't have everything.
But we were in sports.
Yeah, I participated. I
Yeah.
got my heart rate up.
Yeah, we did sports together. What like kept you like motivated? Like what like, for those of you that don't know, like, Lauren has her doctorate. Like, she's so smart. Like, I just want to know, like, where did that motivation even, like, come from?
I would say there are a few things.
Think about 15-year-old
There's like
Lauren.
I think there's innate genetic traits that we have. You know, you will be like, I have a lot of energy. Well, it gets less as I get older, but I had a lot of energy. I think that I read a book when I was young called Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. And it's one of those books you read and just like totally change your mindset. And it's about objectivism, which is getting something done in the best way possible. Okay. And if you're an intelligent person, you can pick up a philosophy like that and really run with it, because it kind of fulfills you in a way. Because, you know, there's everyone wants to give themselves away to something. But if you really do something well, then it's a type of fulfillment in itself. Let's say Trent has this with his hobbies. You know, he wants to be a great leather worker or a great sound man. And it consumes him in a good way. His objective is to be the best. So my objective was to be successful. And I've done that. So now really I can just wallow in depression.
So now that I've reached my goal.
I'm just kidding. I think important things are giving your children chores to do and paying them. Yeah. I think that's very important.
Yeah.
At least our current society and the way it works, and I think that capitalism is important. So I think paying your kids to do chores, that, like, the one time I got all A's and got paid for it, I still think of that as a huge turning point. I got paid to like scrub floors. And then
I never got paid to do stuff.
Yeah, it makes a difference. You learn, like, okay, you get paid for hard work. And I already got the energy.
I got paid to work at the nursery.
Yeah, but you were already 16. I was doing that when I was like 6. It was like,
crazy.
okay, if you clean the toilets and the bathroom, I'll give you $20. And
so do you think your mom went up to a D+ from that?
Yeah, I mean, I think she was a good mom when we were younger for many years.
Yeah.
And then kind of just like careened off a hill. It was like 80%, 0%. Which was also speaks to why we're my brother and I are well adjusted.
Yeah.
And yet, because if she was like that when we were young, we might be like,
yeah.
So we are well adjusted, and then things went bad, so we had to adapt.
Yeah.
So I always think, you know, if it would have been earlier, it would have been bad.
I just burped really loud.
I didn't hear it.
Sorry.
Is that ASRM?
ASMR.
Whatever.
It might be a little bit ASMR. That's interesting. I don't know about that.
Welcome to my ASMR. I'm getting chills.
Are you really?
Yeah, it's working. I might have a new addiction.
Oh God! Please stop whispering. Anyway,
see, it's
next
working.
Question.
The creepiness is high.
So I put this in quotes because I thought it was funny. Also, Lauren is an Aggie.
Whoop!
I don't know if that's a proud thing for you.
My family thinks it should be.
But tell me about your experience.
Well, A&M is like a big culture thing. People are really into it. You wear your ring. I've worn my ring less than a cumulative 2 hours, probably my whole life. Maybe if you added interview days, maybe 8 hours, because I would wear it for an interview.
But good for you.
Yeah, I mean,
because people are kind of, especially
well, you don't
want
to have it on your resume and then interview with an Aggie and not have it on. It looks bad to them. Yeah. That would be the only scenario where it could hurt me. Everywhere else is just kind of just an ad. But not really into sports. I found like a little group of weirdos, like this music club that I liked. I think my culture would have been better at UT, but there were reasons why A&M was a better fit for me, and I liked it. I mean, I the memories I have there are some of the...
I mean, you told me before we started rolling you peaked in college.
I totally peaked in college, guys. It was so awesome. So there's this party I threw sophomore year, and I don't mean to just like brag on myself.
Wait, is this the Halloween party?
This is my friend Kate's 21st birthday party. It was a surprise.
Feel like I remember you talk about this party. Yeah. It's been 10 years.
So Kate's dad was notorious for giving her way more money than she needed at her age. Like, we would go to the clubs.
Oh, cool.
Like those little Fandango brown bags. We'd like to go clubbing.
Yeah.
And we would just like run up a bar tab at like $400 and her dad would foot the bill. She was way spoiled.
What?
Yeah. So it really helped my partying and my peaking. Actually, we were totally dope. So at some point she turned 21 and her dad gave me $600 to throw a party. Yeah, because he was not, you know, I hope you don't hear this, Kenneth. I really love you.
I mean, Willie. No.
Oh, I thought she was saying, no, his name's Willie. No, it's like, Willie. All right. Sorry, guys. So at this point, I throw a party for $600 at my friend's house, and let's just say it was awesome. So first of all, we covered the whole garage in black paper. It was like butcher paper. So is that like art paper is like 3 feet long?
Yeah.
So we just covered the whole garage in that. We had black light beer pong. We also had lights, paints, and there was black lights all up in there.
Pause 1 second. This is pre-Pinterest.
Pre-Pinterest, guys. We put this shit together all around. So, and everyone in there is like painting with black light paint. They're playing black light ping pong. The garage is lit. Then we had a dance room. We had a DJ. Then
you hired a DJ?
No. I was in college. All my friends were DJs. They were all DJs. We were having so much fun. Like that's so cool. Like when you're in, that's what I mean. I peaked. My music taste was on point. Like nowadays, I'm like, God, do I need to subscribe to Rolling Stone so I can know what's going on?
Yeah, no.
I don't like
think
Rolling Stone.
I don't think it's even accurate anymore.
Actually, I mean, they do cover.
Do they? They cover
like,
the
there's
Jonas
a chance
Brothers?
I could. Ew.
Well, they're back, so you should know.
I'm just saying, if there's something big, I'm not going to miss it.
Yeah.
Because Rolling Stone will cover all the big musicians. Okay. There's a chance that someone could blow me by. Yeah. Blow by me. Okay, but back to the story. Back to the party.
Okay, back to the party. Go ahead.
The bathroom, I bought red light bulbs.
No, I remember this part.
I had some really classy photos of ladies.
I remember
maybe
that
pinups,
part.
maybe. And a jar of prophylactics for the classy people at the party.
What's that?
Condoms.
Oh.
It really was more of a joke than anything else. Yeah. I think they were all there when we left. But if not, there weren't any babies born that night.
Yeah,
thanks to me.
Good.
Or STDs.
Or that night. Maybe you mean 9 months later.
Yeah, and they were super cheap. I think we got them from the Student Health Center.
Oh. They were free.
And free. It was just meant to be part of the joke. And also in the bathroom, we had like a CD player playing some like... So it was definitely like you walked in and it was a joke. It wasn't like, hey, hook up in the bathroom. It was like, oh, they're going for a motif and this is kind of funny. We also had pictures of famous people all around the house. So it was like Al Pacino, you're partying with the greats.
Yeah.
I'll sum this up quickly because, I know you're all wishing you were there and you were as cool as I was sophomore year of college.
10 years ago.
I'm so old.
Yep.
Okay.
We're old.
And we rented a bouncy house. So we had bouncy house rules. And there are pictures of people with like big bottles of Jack Daniels jumping in this bouncy house.
No, one of my favorite photos from you and Kate are from this.
Yeah.
Party.
It was a rager and I was so wasted. It was and also we had like the kitchen taped off and we served drinks. I was a bartender. And that's why I got super wasted is because every time I made a drink, I was sipping it to make sure it was good and handing out. It was a very fun time. It was a good night.
So that was your experience of college.
And then the cops came.
No.
Yes. And I don't think I was 21 yet because Kate's a little older than me. So the cops come.
Lauren.
The cops come and the owner of the house was our friend Mike, who allowed us to have the party there. He was roommates with 2 other really nice guys, just stand-up chaps. The cop comes and says, hey, we need to break this party down. Because it's too loud. I mean, we had a bouncy house in the backyard.
Yeah.
I think it was only 12:30. It wasn't even that late at night.
Yeah.
But obviously the neighbors who are not all college kids were mortified at the amount of noise and ragerness coming.
Well, if there was an
you could tell like 12:01 struck and they're like, Merle, we need to call the cops, So 12:30.
But if it was an HOA, there was an HOA there.
It wasn't that nice of a neighborhood. It was like a college neighborhood, 1 stories close together.
I've done that before. I've called the cops on somebody when it was like
man. You ruined that night for us.
I'm sorry.
It was, so the cop then is like, okay, you need to get everyone out of this house. So the people just flood out of the house. And the cop becomes very impressed with Mike because he's like, dang, this party is a lot of awesome looking people, Yeah. And then he said, do you want to know how many people were in that house? Because he's a cop. So he's used to like assessing a breakup of a party. He probably expected like 15 like gnarly looking pothead kids to come out. It was like 200 dancing ravers come out of this 1-story house, like covered in black light paint.
Oh my
just
God.
having the time of their lives and just like standing on the lawn like, how do we get home?
Can I say something?
What?
I am so impressed that you put that party on only for $600.
Yeah, I mean
that is so, like, for everything that you just said, I feel like that would be way more than $600.
Yeah, I mean, it was like DIY. We did the butcher paper, the black light paints, the red light.
Would you say that was your peak? That was like the tippity top?
No.
of the peak of college for you?
Depending on what you describe as a peak.
Yeah.
Like a traditional coolness peak. Like, would it
Yeah.
look good in a coming of age movie for like footage? I'd say mentally, I don't know. It was a good time.
Yeah. So let me ask you
When
this.
did I peak? I mean, I think I've peaked. I'm on the down
We're at
trodden
the end of the hill.
down. I'm walking down the hill of coolness
Yeah.
slowly.
Maybe you'll be a cool mom.
No, I'm not gonna be a cool mom.
I'm gonna be a cool mom.
I'm gonna be on my kid's case. Oh, so the last part of the story is the cop tells Mike.
Oh yeah.
The cop tells Mike, "Hey," Mike says, "Can I get my girlfriend out of the people? But can I keep them from all the people that you're making leave the party?" And the cop's like, "Sure." And he's like, Mike's like, "What if I have 2 girlfriends?"
Oh my god.
And it's me and my friend Kate. And then the story is we take the kegs and go to another party and we rage all night.
Oh my god. That sounds like a tired time.
Well, the thing is, that, like
You were
when you're
20
that
years
young,
old,
yeah,
yeah.
when you're that young, you're like 4 a.m. nowadays. If I party till 4, I'm like, who slipped an amphetamine into my
Yeah.
cocktail? Because
Yeah.
my body won't let me do that.
Like it's like 8 o'clock right now, and I'm
Speaking of, how much longer on the podcast, Trent?
like, oh my god, you want to end it right now?
Well, I'm just saying, no.
We can go for hours if you want.
People will listen to this shit.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
Yeah. Hello.
I just don't want to. I don't want to make our viewer like they. I want them to leave them wanting more. This is.
Are you gonna come back on?
Well, if I'm allowed to come back.
Okay. Well, let's talk about more.
Okay, we'll finish our questions. If y'all want to hear more from me, you can tell Lauren because I know all 5 of the viewership.
If you, how dare you?
Well, okay, maybe it's 4. I'm just kidding. I have never looked at the viewership, so I have no concept.
Yeah.
Actually, Amazon, I wanted you to know that this is the flagship podcast. We're gonna have 500,000 views.
We do. Just so you know.
Oh,
Anyway, next.
I can't believe I agreed to do this if you have that many listeners.
I
I thought
know.
it was only 5.
No, it's more than that.
Okay.
How dare you?
I'm kind of do we need to pause the
Why do we need to pause?
Just kidding.
Okay, fine. So let's keep going since Lauren wants to end this really quickly.
No, hey.
Okay, so your undergrad was entomology, which for those who don't know.
Study of insects.
Okay, so what made you go from that to nursing?
Well, I went into entomology knowing I was doing the nursing prereqs.
Knowing?
Knowing. So doing the nursing prereqs and then
But why
went to
from
nursing
like
school.
bugs to people?
it was just a means to an end. I needed a bachelor's degree to get my accelerated nursing degree. But it was awesome because I got to go camping with my professors.
Yeah.
I got to see bugs that have been pinned by Charles Darwin in the
What?
Galapagos Islands. Yeah. So A&M has second to like Cornell. It's another big name like that, a bigger name. The second biggest entomology program in the country.
Really?
So we had like huge insect. Like people would die, entomologists, and they would send their collections to A&M.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, like people do insect collections, and there's
so
some
weird
beautiful
to me.
insects. It is weird, and one of my professors were weird, but one of them was amazing. Just interesting. Bob Wharton. He was just a very, eccentric dude.
Yeah.
Um.
I feel like you have to be an eccentric person to study bugs.
Yeah, I would say so. It was, I wouldn't say it was a passion of mine,
Yeah.
but it was a means to an end, and I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I did the nursing prereqs while I was doing that.
Yeah.
And then I got my degree. I think it was the degree with the least credit hours that you needed.
Yeah.
So that was a motivator, which is,
Yeah, especially when you're raging till 4 o'clock in the morning. The
Yeah,
day before
yeah.
finals and stuff.
I think, my GPA was a 2.7 in undergrad.
What?
Yeah. That's why, yeah. What?
Lauren.
It's, I'd want y'all to know that I got a 4.0 for the last 2 years. It still couldn't bring it up. And I got a 4.0 in nursing school and a 4.0 in CRNA school.
That's why I'm really surprised that you had anything.
So
in the
that's why I
twos.
say when I peaked in terms of what would look good on a movie,
Yeah.
sophomore year. But
Yeah.
in terms of realizing what was good for me and being happy, probably more 24.
Yeah. Man, I'm freaked out that was your GPA because I think mine was a 3 point something.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow. Anyway, it is what it is. In the past, here we are now, Dr. Lauren. So when did you decide? Okay, so the way that it worked for you is you had your undergrad, then you went to nursing school, then you did nurse practitioner school, and then you did doctorate school. So why did you decide to do nursing? Like, why was that the end goal for you?
Well, I always wanted to do something with medicine. So it was either I wanted to be a vet when I was young, and then I wanted to go into healthcare because I thought, well, people aren't going to pay to have their pets taken care of in a bad economy.
I mean, but people can.
Yeah. I just always was interested in medicine, in the human body, or anatomy and taking care of things. And I loved animals a lot when I was younger, and that kind of waned a little bit, so it went more to people.
Mm. So how long after you graduated nursing school, because that took like what, 2 years, maybe a year and a half?
Nursing was an accelerated program, 1.5 years.
Yeah.
And then I was an ICU nurse for 5 years, and then I went to doctorate for 3 years.
That was my question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy path.
And when did you meet Travis and all this? Travis is Lauren's husband.
In my ICU nursing phase.
Okay.
And I was probably like...
I remember
20
exactly
24,
where I was when you told me you met Travis.
25. Where were you?
We were at your aunt and uncle's house, and we were in the kitchen.
What was I saying about him?
That you met him, and he was nice, and you liked him. Other stuff. We could talk later, but...
Yeah. I mean, definitely Travis is...
Lauren was going through a phase, I remember.
Oh, yeah.
She was going through a phase when she met Travis. It was an interesting phase.
Ghosting?
It was a ghosting phase. Lauren was like master ghoster.
I was on the prowl. I would date a lot of dudes.
She would date and then ghost them like crazy. And I was
the queen of ghosting. Before it showed up as like a thing...
I was pretty amazed in how you did that.
Yeah, it was rude and disrespectful. And in hindsight, I shouldn't have done that to people. But
it is that's what happens when you date. You know what I mean?
Well, I think a more respectful way. And I think it was also like, I was just dating people left and right. Yeah. Like I didn't even have time to have a real emotional experience with them. Mm-hmm. So it was like, okay, we went on 3 dates and sure, you thought there was a connection, but do you think I owe you something?
God, I remember one time you ghosted somebody and they were my server one time. And I had met him. Went to like a play or something that he was in or something.
Yeah.
He was my server one time, and I was like,
guy. Wasn't he attractive?
I think he might have been, yes, he was attractive, but I think he might have been I think he was gay. Honestly.
Really?
Yeah. Like I even remember thinking.
He kind of a little bit.
Yeah. I think I remember thinking when he was my server, like.
Effeminate?
Are you gay? Like, were you not out when you were with
Lauren?
I
never thought of it that way, but I think he was straight.
I forgot his name, but I remember him. Don't say his name, but I remember.
Yeah, we shouldn't say his name.
Mm-mm. But
I liked him a lot. Just didn't work out. Wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, because he was gay.
Yeah, probably. Actually, I got no gay vibes from him, but
I did.
Okay, well that's fine.
You also didn't
nice
give any gay vibes from one of our other
gay friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's that.
Have good gaydar. But anyway. So yeah, you were going through a phase. You were ghosting people left and right, eating people left and right.
And then Travis got in the midst of that.
He was.
And I tried to ghost him and he wouldn't have it. He sent me a text that said, if you've grown tired of me and my general awesomeness, you can let me know. And then I gave him the respectful call and breakup I probably should have given like 7 other guys.
You broke up with him?
Yeah, I told him I wasn't looking for anything, but if I was, I would call him.
And then what happened?
And then I needed to go to a concert in Austin and I had extra tickets, so I invited him.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. What concert was it?
The Mountain Goats.
Okay.
And what's funny about the Mountain Goats is they have like a album called Tallahassee. It's pretty good. I mean, it was just like a show I wanted to go to. And they are, like any band out of their heyday, like 10 or 15 years removed. They're trying to keep the hype up, even though maybe they don't have the passion that once brought them together, the youth. And so the first thing, and he doesn't know the band, but I do. This guy brings out like Cheerleaders for Jesus, but a joke thing. So he starts it out like they're a choir.
Okay.
And Travis has no idea what's going on. So it's like, oh, and they're singing. And he's like, what have I gotten myself into?
He's like, church girl bringing me to a church service.
It looks like a weird, like not Whitney Houston, Whoopi Goldberg, like sister act thing about to happen up there, and he's probably like, this church girl has probably, and then that quickly dissipates and turns into like a normal concert. But he must have been very scared for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, like what? Just kidding.
And then we kind of started dating again, and I really he's an awesome guy. He's hard not to like.
The fact that he
hard
said
not to
yes,
love.
Yeah, I
yeah,
like
he's
Travis
a good person.
The fact that he actually said yes to go with you to that concert.
Well, he liked me.
I would have said no.
Well, you're a stubborn person.
Well, if you don't like me, then fine.
Well, look how it turns out. I mean, I believe in life that people deserve second chances.
Yeah,
I'm big on, and then third chance,
maybe. I don't know. So after that, you got married to Travis.
Yeah, we did get married. Yeah.
How long were you all dating before you got married? 2 years?
2, maybe 3, 2.5. Two sounds like my minimum before I would get married to someone.
And where were y'all engaged at?
Oh, Hamilton's Pool.
Ooh.
Hamilton's Pool is a nature preserve in Austin, and it's a sinkhole with crystal clear blue water. You can't go nowadays. It's always packed. You got to like call in ahead. It is a sinkhole.
I didn't realize
that's what made the waterfall.
Yeah.
There's some beautiful pictures. And he took me there, and I knew it was going to happen, because it was so sweet.
And y'all had talked about it before?
Oh, yeah. And he had his mom's ring, so he wanted to show me before.
Oh.
Yeah. But this is sensitive, Yeah.
Sensitive information.
This is very personal and not interesting for other people.
Some people want to know how you got engaged.
Okay, it was Hamilton's Pool, guys. You should go if you can go. On a weekday.
Okay.
You should go. Hamilton. Google it right now, because you'll be like, oh, I should go. It's outside of Austin.
Okay, fine. To the next question.
Okay,
maybe
next
not
question.
is as sensitive.
Well,
maybe it is kind of actually. Were you sad to move when you had to do your doctorate? Because I mean, you've been in San Antonio.
I was stressed out.
Yeah.
Because we had to relocate our life for 3 years, and we actually moved up there, and then we had to move
up there, Fort Worth, you guys.
We moved to Fort Worth, and then we had to move again to Denison for me to work in the hospital. So I went to Fort Worth for a year. When I first moved to Fort Worth, the move was so stressful. Oh my gosh, moving is so stressful. And I had to start class in a week, and we had orientation. And at orientation, they tell us that 20% of the people fail out. After I just moved there.
Yeah, and you had a 2.7 GPA in your undergrad.
Well, I mean, I had gotten a 4.0 for the last 4 years. But yeah, I mean, I'm not like the person to walk in and like have 100% confidence, even though I did get a 4.0 in the program.
Yeah.
20% of the people did fail out.
Yeah.
But the online numbers were like 5% of people fail out, because they average it across the 3 years.
I see.
So 20% of the people will fail out in the middle year, but they average it. And so 20% of the people failed out. My hair started going gray. I developed wrinkles.
Where?
I mean, it's the first grays. It's not crazy.
Yeah.
I started getting wrinkles, and I started feeling truly old. I also made some awesome friends who will be lifetime friends. Shout out to Morgan, Whitney, Tony, Kate.
If you're listening.
You know who you are. Those are the people.
Morgan, Lucy, Tony, Kate.
Lucy,
Whitney.
Oh. Good people all.
Yeah.
But I love anesthesia, so it was stressful. I'm glad it's over, because it's a really hard program. But
was it everything that you like now that you're in a hospital in San Antonio where your family's at, which is a miracle in the first place that you're in San Antonio?
It's pretty awesome.
Has it been everything that you expected?
Yeah, I think I thought I would be better with the stress.
Yeah.
But it's just a stressful job.
Yeah.
I'm probably better than most. But it's, and it may get better with years. Like after I've been doing it for 5 years, I won't freak out every time a certain thing happens, because I've dealt with it 100 times.
Now I want to know what those things are.
Like certain types of procedures, you may be doing it right, and the windpipe will close.
Okay. Anyway, next story.
You'll be like, holy shit. Lauren's like, moving on.
God. Sometimes I forget Lauren's a doctor. The other day we were talking about spinal something in babies.
Oh, spinal anesthesia.
Yeah. No. You're talking about
epidurals.
You were talking about taking medicine to get pregnant, or like
folic acid.
Yeah, she was. Or you're talking about something. You're like, here, take this, and I was like, well, let me ask my doctor. Lauren goes, I am a doctor.
Lauren was trying to tell me that she didn't need to take folic acid when she was trying to get pregnant, and I thought,
I don't know
how.
I don't know.
Uneducated. And then I got angry and I pulled the doctor card.
I'm not trying to get pregnant though right now.
Okay, but I said, because I was trying to encourage her to get pregnant.
Yeah. Because Trent doesn't want to get pregnant right now. But that's for another podcast and another story.
I'll be back for that episode on fertility.
Yeah. Honestly, we might actually do one with
You might actually do a baby?
No, we might do an episode on fertility and like what that looks like. And
with who?
We have some people in mind. Trent, you ready to have babies?
Amanda Para?
Not yet.
Okay. He's the one you need to convince. It's not me.
I mean, Trent is 26?
27.
Oh.
Like
I don't know, Trent, you're getting pretty close.
Literally going to be 28 in like a month. Like a month. Anyway, so
this is neither the time nor the place. But we may listen to this again in 10 years and look at little Trent Jr. and think, oh,
we're not naming our kid Trent Jr.
You use it in conversation to like imply someone's child.
Mm-mm. Not Trent Jr.
Well, I could say something like Cosby, and then no one would know what we were talking about.
Not Cosby, as in Bill Cosby.
It's Crosby. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Crosby means one who draws near to the cross, which Lauren likes.
Yeah. Can you imagine naming?
Hopefully,
your kid Cosby?
Would stay with the Lord his whole life.
Well, now I'm not thinking about Crosby because it sounds so close to Cosby, and Bill Cosby is a freaking weirdo.
Yeah, that's some pretty terrible.
I know. So now I don't know what to do. Anyway, but
I don't think that really runs the name for me.
I think it does for me a little bit.
Okay, well,
which
then
is so sad because I wanted that name forever. Anyway, okay, so last question.
All right, last question, everybody.
Is there any advice that you have for those looking to go into anesthesia or nursing or maybe going to A&M?
Okay, that's a lot of things.
You have 3 things.
Okay, if you want to go to A&M, you need to get good grades in high school.
Okay.
Get a good SAT score. If you want to go into anesthesia, you need to shadow someone who does anesthesia. Make sure it's something you would like to do.
Can they shadow you?
If
you were gonna say no, you were like,
if they are already a nurse, or they can convince me that they have an actual career path towards that. I'm not gonna take like an 8th grader. It'd have to be an adult.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I would let most people shadow me. They'd have to go through the proper avenues to get it's called observer status. And then what is the other question?
Nursing.
Oh, nursing. Oh, well, nursing, there's a lot of things to do. You can do a billion different branches of nursing, and as long as you have one of those you're interested in, I think you should go for it.
That's a very solid adult answer.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we resorted to. The ecstasy didn't kick in. I think it was fake.
It did.
It was a little Donald Trump shaped.
Do you want to come back to Nesty Bun Sisters podcast?
Sure, if the comments are good, guys, but I don't know if I'll be invited back. I feel
well, and then Alyssa can be here, and it'll be more of like a party.
You know, it will. No one will know what's going on because there'll be so much laughter.
How about we had me, Alyssa, my mom, and Aunt Robin and Aunt Lisa on the podcast one time. And it was all 5 of us.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, you should listen to it. It's called Fuzzy Hair Sisters.
Fuzzy Hair Sisters.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, your mom's family. Those are good people.
Yeah, it was a good time. We should listen to some of our podcasts, Lauren.
I should.
How rude.
Maybe before I come back next time, I'll give an honest listen.
Okay, any last words you would like to say? Shout out to Travis. Shout out to Ripley.
Shout out to you, the listener. This one goes out to you.
We love you, listener.
We love you.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and to iTunes. Don't forget to follow us on Patreon. Love you guys.
Love you.
Thanks, Lauren.